Throughout this series, we've been asking a simple but important question. Is the Bible real? We began by looking at history. Not opinions, not traditions, but verifiable records. We examined archaeology and discovered that the people, places, cities, and events described in Scripture consistently align with the physical evidence left behind. We explored the manuscripts themselves and found a level of preservation and accuracy unmatched by any other ancient text. We looked at how these writings, spread across centuries and cultures, maintain a unified message, rather than a fragmented collection of beliefs. We examined prophecy, specific, detailed predictions, fulfilled in real historical moments. We listened to voices outside the Bible, Roman historians, Jewish scholars, and ancient critics, who confirmed the core framework of the New Testament without sharing its faith. And we saw how Scripture has transformed lives, shaped societies, and endured relentless opposition, while continuing to spread. Taken together, the evidence is not narrow or one-dimensional. It is layered, cumulative, and consistent. In this final chapter, we step back and look at the whole picture. What happens when all the evidence is placed side by side? What conclusion does it point toward? And if the Bible truly is real, what does that mean for us today? What we read today as Scripture is not a distant echo of lost writings nor a heavily altered version of something ancient. It is, in substance and meaning, the same Scripture written by the original authors. Across 66 books written by more than 40 authors over a span of 1,500 years on 3 continents and in 3 languages, the Bible speaks with one unified voice. From beginning to end, it tells a single coherent story. A story of creation, of humanity's fall, of promise given, of redemption accomplished, and of restoration still unfolding. Prophets, poets, kings, shepherds, physicians, and fishermen all contribute to this same narrative, not contradicting one another, but advancing the story forward. This kind of unity is not accidental. It is literary, theological, and structural coherence on a scale unmatched in ancient literature. Unity this strong, across this much diversity, suggests not coincidence, but a single guiding mind behind it all. The Bible also contains long-range predictive prophecies that align precisely with real historical events. It foretells the rise and fall of empires, the destruction of cities like Nineveh and Babylon, the rebuilding of Jerusalem, the emergence of specific rulers, even naming Cyrus centuries before his reign, and the detailed foreshadowing of the Messiah. These prophecies are not vague. They are not symbolic guesswork. They are specific, historical, and verifiable. Together, they form a prophetic web, stretching across hundreds of years and fulfilled with remarkable precision. No other religious text demonstrates this kind of predictive accuracy. Beyond Scripture itself, voices from the ancient world speak. Roman historians, Jewish scholars, and Greek satirists, people with no allegiance to Christianity, confirm the core framework of the New Testament. They attest that Jesus lived, that he was crucified under Pilate, that his followers worshipped him as divine, that Christianity spread rapidly, and that early believers were persecuted for their faith. These writers were not Christians, yet they corroborate the historical foundation upon which the New Testament stands. Across continents, cultures, and centuries, Scripture has not remained confined to parchment. It has transformed individuals, shaped families, reformed societies, inspired movements for justice, and influenced entire civilizations. People from every background testify that the Bible brought them hope, peace, forgiveness, courage, identity, and purpose. This consistent pattern of transformation matches what the Bible claims about itself, that its words are living and active. And through it all, the Bible has endured. Empires have tried to destroy it. Philosophers have dismissed it. Dictators have banned it. Kings and governments have restricted it. And yet, It survives, it spreads, it resurfaces, it flourishes. Where Scripture is forbidden, its influence often grows stronger. Where it is persecuted, it multiplies. Where it is banned, it is memorized. No other book in history shows this kind of endurance. When we combine historical evidence, archaeological discovery, manuscript accuracy, internal unity, fulfilled prophecy, external confirmation, transformational power, and supernatural resilience, we find something extraordinary. The Bible is not supported by just one kind of evidence, but by every kind of evidence. It is not merely plausible. It is not merely reliable. It is not merely historically grounded. It stands alone, unique in its preservation, unique in its accuracy, unique in its unity, unique in its influence, unique in its endurance, unique in its message. A book like this is not easy to dismiss. A book like this demands to be taken seriously. A book like this speaks with a voice that feels older, deeper, and stronger, as if its author is still speaking. We have walked through history, we have examined archaeology, we have explored manuscripts, unity, prophecy, transformation, and resilience. All of this leads to one final, deeply personal question. If the Bible is real, what does that mean for us today? Because evidence matters, history matters, accuracy matters, but none of it is the end of the journey. The purpose of Scripture is not simply to inform us, but to invite us. If the Bible is historically reliable, if it is textually preserved, if its world aligns with archaeology, if its message is unified, if its prophecies are fulfilled, if its claims are confirmed by external sources, if its impact is transformative, and its survival extraordinary, then the natural response is not skepticism, but trust. Trust that its promises are true, that its hope is real, that its message is reliable, that its story is grounded, and that its author is faithful. The Bible is not a distant ancient document, it is a trustworthy voice carried across centuries to reach us now. Even for those not ready to believe, the evidence invites exploration. The Bible does not demand blind faith. It invites honest examination. It says, "Come and see. Ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find." The evidence is not fragile. The message is not afraid of questions. The Scriptures are strong enough to welcome sincere seekers. At its heart, the Bible is not primarily a book of rules or distant stories. It is the story of a God who moves toward his people, a God who creates, who calls, who redeems, who restores, who forgives, who pursues, who speaks, and who loves. If the Bible is real, then its central figure, Jesus, is not a myth, not a symbol, not a legend. He is a person who lived, died, rose, and continues to change lives today. And he invites every heart to know him. The Bible's message does not end with evidence. It ends with hope, a hope that the broken can be healed, that the lost can be found, that the guilty can be forgiven, that the weary can find rest, that the hurting can find comfort, that the fearful can find peace, that the searching can find meaning, a hope that the story of the world is moving toward restoration, not chaos, a hope grounded, not in circumstances, but in the character of God. If Scripture is true, then it calls us to live with compassion, with humility, with courage, with generosity, with integrity, with patience, with forgiveness, and with purpose. It calls us away from bitterness and into grace, away from fear and into trust, away from self-destruction and into life. It does not simply give knowledge, it gives transformation. When all the evidence is placed together, historical, archaeological, manuscript, internal, prophetic, external, and experiential, a clear picture emerges. The Bible is not just ancient literature. It is not merely cultural heritage. It is not simply a moral guide. It is a message preserved across thousands of years with extraordinary care, and extraordinary impact, a message that has survived every attack, outlasted every empire, and transformed every culture it has touched. A message that still speaks, with power, clarity, and hope, to anyone willing to listen. In the end, the question, "Is the Bible real?" leads to a deeper one. What will we do with what it says? Because if the Bible is real, then its God is real, its promises are real, its hope is real, and its invitation is for us, even now, even today. Over the course of this series, we've followed the evidence wherever it led. We've examined history and archaeology. We've tested the manuscripts. We've explored unity, prophecy, external confirmation, transformation, and endurance. Taken together, the conclusion is clear. The Bible is not supported by just one line of evidence, but by many, each reinforcing the other. It stands unique in its preservation, unique in its accuracy, unique in its unity, unique in its influence, and unique in its endurance. In this final chapter, we've stepped back and seen the full picture, a message preserved across centuries with extraordinary care and extraordinary impact. This brings our series, "Is the Bible Real?" to its conclusion. Thank you for taking this journey with us. Thank you for watching thoughtfully, listening carefully, and engaging honestly with the evidence. If these videos have helped you think more deeply, ask better questions, or explore Scripture with fresh eyes, we invite you to continue the journey with us. Please consider subscribing to the channel for future videos exploring history, evidence, and faith with clarity, respect, and care. The question, "Is the Bible real?" ultimately leads to something deeper, not just what we believe, but how we respond. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of this series.